Hi everyone, my name is Celadon and I'm with the Carrollton Public Library, and I am here to talk to you about some horror reads that have some sort of humor element to them. Now, even if you aren't a horror person, you're going to find these books really fun and engaging, and if you are the kind of person who reads horror, that's even better. You're going to find these books really great deconstructions and satire of your favorite tropes. Let's get started. In our first book, Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero, Cantero takes the tropes of Hardy Boys and Scooby-Doo and flips them on their head. So it starts out, and it's the summer of 1977, and our local detective club has unmasked the sleepy-legged monster, a no-good scoundrel trying to get his hands on the riches of the DeBowen mansion. And he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those darn meddling kids! 13 years later, the detective club is all grown up, but they're still haunted by that night in the mansion. Was there something more than an old man in a mask? As a warning, there's some language, but it's a great, fresh take on those kid mystery tropes that so many of us grew up with. Check it out. Our next book is Welcome to Nightville by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner, and it's based on a podcast of the same name, which depicts a radio DJ who would talk about his friendly desert community and the supernatural going-ons that happened there. This book is about how one lives in Nightville, a town where everything is just a little off, and supernatural happenings happen every day, and many of the residents aren't human. I would actually go so far as to say that this isn't truly a horror book, but most of the residents would probably feel at home in a horror setting, normally. If you haven't listened to the podcast before, I would highly recommend it, but it isn't necessary in order to enjoy the book. If you're a fan of like Douglas Adams or Terry Pratchett, I think you'll particularly enjoy the writing of these two authors. Our next novel is going to be Horror Store, a novel by Grady Hendrix. It's a horror parody that takes place at Orsk, a furniture superstore that is definitely not IKEA. So what's happening is something unexplained is happening in the after hours of Orsk. Every morning they wake up and there's vandalized furniture everywhere, and security tapes aren't catching the criminals. So 3 employees agree to work a midnight shift and stay in the store through the night to find out what's really going on. This is a contemporary haunted house parody wrapped in the goodness that is DIY Swedish furniture. For our last book, we're going to talk about Theme Music by T. Marie Vandelay, which is a straight-up horror psychological thriller. Our main character is Dixie Wheeler, who is haunted by her past, particularly one point when her father brutally murdered her entire family and then killed himself, leaving her the sole survivor. It was bad, y'all. However, 25 years later, she finds that her childhood home is on the market, and in an attempt to connect with a family she barely remembers, she decides to buy the house that she grew up in. However, as the feelings of dread and malevolence grow in the house, Dixie works to uncover the secrets she no longer remembers about her family. It's a truly riveting and honestly kind of a disturbing read. But Celadon, I hear you say, why is this on the humor list if it is so scary? Well, I thought there should be at least one horror read on this list, like a truly scary book. But I also find the voice of the narrator fairly wry and amusing throughout the book. While the circumstances themselves are not amusing, the book's voice is really entertaining and makes the read even more compelling. Thanks for listening, everyone. Did you know that we're on Instagram? You can find us at instagram.com/CarrolltonTXLIB. Stay safe, y'all.